It's very cool. And you can see down here, we can launch Firefox again with the whatismyip.com to tell you what your IP is. Whoop, looks like we encountered some kind of an error.
No, Firefox crashed.
Firefox crashed. So,
but you can launch applications, and so could I print out, like, let's say that laptop was hooked up to a printer at home. Can I actually tell it to print out something on my printer in my
Yeah, you sure can. You just open Word, and it actually looks identical to what, or any kind of notepad. We'll just go ahead and open Notepad for now. And
but if you run out of paper, you may not know.
Yeah, well, you can always check the status of your print job down the bottom, just like a normal. But yeah, you wouldn't be able to see what it did.
The blinking light and nothing's coming out. No, the printer's not making any sound.
Yeah. So we'll type a simple text message, and then we'll go print. And then when you go print, it'll bring up the menu with your local printers. So you would just select what printer the computer is connected to.
Okay.
So it doesn't really know anything as far as the remote side is concerned. Everything on this computer, it only knows that it's local. Okay. It doesn't know that it's being broadcast out. So it just acts like it would where it's at.
Now, can you copy like that PDF again to the Mac desktop? Can you just drag and drop within these two? I'm wondering if that works here.
Not
or whether
sure
that has to be a little bit different.
I know you can't drag it right off. You can't drag it right off this screen onto the Mac desktop. It doesn't allow that.
Okay.
You have to go through My Computers if it's allowed.
Right.
And then it should be mounted at the very bottom under an Other.
There we go. So if we copy that, and then, or actually we want to put it on that folder, so go back actually and find the file on your desktop. Okay, now minimize the...
Here, I got it. So we'll go ahead and go into Documents and Setting. I believe this is since this is also a boot camp computer, it looks like it only mounted the boot camp section. It didn't mount the OS hard drive, the OS 10 hard drive. It only mounted the boot camp hard drive.
You're right.
It didn't mount. So this is the boot camp section.
Okay.
Of it.
So that's something to keep in mind here, is that OS is not going to be able to read your Mac formatted drive.
Right, that's probably a security thing.
But if you plug in a PC formatted flash drive, it would potentially be able to read that, and then you could copy files.
It could potentially. I'm not sure how it would connect. I don't know the answer to that, but it would be something to experiment. Read user forms as far as that. So we'll go ahead and we'll drag it over just so you can get the idea here.
Right.
So let's go ahead.
And then the Mac can read that Windows formatted NTFS drive that we have on this actual machine. And then you can copy it off of there.
Right. So then to move the file, it's just as simple as what I did before. Click on the picture, whatever the file is, drag it into the new window and release. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is the error that I think I was getting. It doesn't let you connect to the hard drive. So for the Mac users, I don't know if you're going to be able to drag and drop files, even if you do connect the disk drives, because I think there's still some Mac firmware involved there that won't allow this to happen, because it uses Windows connection policies that Mac is probably unfamiliar with, because they obviously don't use the same things.
But a worst case scenario is you could just open the email program on your laptop.
Yeah, and you can still read it.
And you can email it to yourself, and then you get it here locally, check your email, and
print it out that way. I mean, it has some room for improvement, but it is still very powerful.
I'm still able to access that stuff. I can still get on here and fix stuff. So if someone's saying, I can't find my files, where am I supposed to go? I can't get this setting set right. You can go in and change those settings for them.
Right.
Excellent. Very cool.
So that's what it looks like in its full glory.
And just quitting out of this program should disconnect you.
Right. Yeah, all you have to do is click the X, just like a normal OS X program.
Okay.
And it'll prompt you, you're about to disconnect from this. Okay. And now we're back into our Mac side.
Excellent. All right. Anything else we should know about this before we dive in and play around with it?
There are some, just keep in mind that if you're trying to connect from the internet, there are a lot of things that are going to potentially stop you from doing this. Routers, firewalls, proxies if you do this from work. I can list off a number of weird computer acronyms for you to look up later. But these are all going to stop you as far as the connection goes. And are we going to release a more advanced version of this? Possibly.
Possibly. I guess that depends on you all. If you send us email saying you want to know more questions, or you're having problems trying to do what we just showed you, give us an idea and we can find out it's because of this router. Give us that information. Give us as much information as you can, and we can try to troubleshoot that for you and actually do a video to cover, because you're probably not the only one running into problems.
Yeah, I'm sure if you have any problems as far as router setup, email us at askthetechies@gmail.com.
You're probably not going to be able to do this at a lot of places where you work, though, if you're trying to connect to a computer at work, because they do have a lot of security and firewall.
Exactly. I can tell you for people with routers, like if you have your computer connected to a router and then your high-speed internet, you're going to want to open your router setup, and I would recommend doing, well, my router was called Virtual Server. Just read the title under it, because different routers call it different things. It basically allows you to forward a port, so to speak, to a local computer, which allows that connection to shoot right through the router to a local computer. That will open up the remote desktop port, which is 3389. We'll have that scroll across the bottom of the screen. But like I said, just go ahead and give us an email if you're running into problems, and we'll go ahead and forward on the information to you as best we can.
There are ways to do this also on a Mac, to connect from one Mac to another Mac for virtual networking, VNC clients. And if you're interested in seeing those, send us an email and we'll shoot a video up on that. Just want to know if it's worth your all's interest. So,
yeah, it's just as easy Mac to Mac as it is Windows to Windows once you get it all up and running.
In fact, sometimes even a little bit easier with some of the things called Apple Remote Desktop. Can be a pretty powerful tool, especially for teachers. So drop us a line, all right?
All right. Well, I'm Nathan.
I'm Dealey Beard. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.